Welcome to part second of the video titled Japanese Economy, a Global Outlier. So, in relative valuation, the debt grew 5 times, which means in 1995, debt to GDP ratio was 49%. Make it 50%. It means if debt was 4533, right, debt to GDP ratio, which means GDP was higher, right, debt to GDP ratio. Today, debt to GDP ratio is 250%, which means the GDP contracted. It's a common sense. GDP contracted. It's a common sense. Okay, so let's compute. 4533 divided by 0.5. So in 1995, the GDP was 9.06 trillion. Okay, 9.06 trillion. Now it is 250%, which means 12858 divided by 2.5. It is 5.14 trillion, which means, think carefully, in relative valuation, the debt to GDP ratio grew by 5 times, 49% to 250%. While in absolute valuation, the debt was 4.5 trillion in 1995. It went to 12.8 trillion in 2020, which means 2.84 times. While GDP contracted by near about, you can say, around 33%. No, not 33%, around, you can say 22%. You can say. So, GDP contracting, debt, GDP contracting, coming down, debt rising in absolute and in relative figures. Average person debt is over $100,000. Common sense suggests it would grow. Common sense suggests. According to a report by Janus Henderson, page number 30, by 2025, 123582, 123582, this would be the debt per person. So near about you can say 4 times, which means in 1995 it was $35,876. In 2020 it was 101,644, and by 2025 it would be 123,582, near about 4 times. This would be the debt. Story is not ending here. Story is starting here. Let me have debt to GDP ratios of few countries computed by Janus Henderson. Australia 55%, Hong Kong 55%, Singapore 155%. 155. I would have separate video on Singapore. Taiwan very well 29%, Argentina 105%, Brazil 95%, Chile 35%, China 22%. I never trust China numbers. Czech Republic 43%, Hungary 76%, India 62%. This is incorrect because International Monetary Fund has said it is 90%. And so on and so forth. The nearest country is the Greece 209%, Spain 120%, Japan 250%. Expected by 2025 is 271%. Now it is up to you. Japan is the largest indebted economy of the globe, followed by United States, followed by China. And the debt levels are rising. They are rising at a considerable pace. They are rising at a considerable pace. As we speak, $1 is near about 122 Japanese yen. $1 is near about 122 Japanese yen, which means for the exporters of US dollar, it's a windfall, because till 1 month ago it was 115, and now the projection is it can go up to 125. But for importers, it's a mess, because they are shelling more what they are making. For Japanese importers, how much profit margin? 10%, 15%, it's all gone. It's all gone. Because today the currency is 122. It was 115 1 month ago. It means 6% depreciation in the currency, which means a windfall gain to exporters while it ends up as a windfall loss to importers. Huge loss, and expected is 125. Around 8.7% if it goes to 125. It means the importers would have a loss of 8.7% if it will go to 125. That's a bloody point. But no one is talking about that. But I am very clear on one thing. I'm absolutely clear on one thing, and to me it hardly bothers whether this Bloomberg, whether this CNN, whether this BBC, whether the New York Times, whether the Wall Street Journal, whether the Standard and Poor, whether this Federal Reserve, whether any big bank is covering this or not. To me it hardly matters, because the statistics which I have by Janus Henderson, and none of the statistics is provided by me. You know that in my videos, whenever I use the data, I provide the source of that data, and I always praise the source. Like in my all videos, I have praised Janus Henderson. Thank you for giving us the statistics, and we are hopeful we'll have the latest statistics soon. The analytics is ours. Now, the common sense is very clear that Japanese economy is heading towards a crash. Rather, I say the soft landing has already started. Now, what the hell is soft landing? The soft landing means that a dollar which used to be at 109, 110, now it is 122, and expected is 125. Which means one thing is very clear, that very soon the hard landing will also start. And what the hell is hard landing? The balance sheet, the interest rates. Because interest rates are rising. Federal Reserve rose it by 25 bips. Now they are talking about 50 bips. Today, South Africa rose, Bank of Korea rose, Bank of England done, and many other central banks are following this. They are very clear that inflation is rising, thanks to Russia for that. And they need to contain that inflation. But these people do not know that containing of inflation via the interest rate hike is immaterial. You are wasting, which is called policy error. We'll speak later on this in detail. So sooner or later, Bank of Japan will also rise that. They cannot run away from this. And the glaring statistics which we have here and the analytics provided by my best friend do suggest that if interest rate rose by even 1% in Japan in another couple of years, then it means boom. Because the soft landing has already started. And the hard landing will start soon. And then we are gone. I'm sure that no credit rating agency would cover this. No credit rating agency would cover this. But we would cover this because our YouTube channel always cover those videos which no one covers. Because we hardly bother about views, subscriber, comments, counts, all these things. It hardly matters. This is Rahul Magan from Treasury Consulting Group. You know my personal number 9899242978. I repeat 9899242978. Have a great time ahead.